Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Bob Randall and Company live preview show, episode 14, season 2, May 8th, 2023. And at this time, I want to bring in my illustrious, the man who makes every day merry and bright, the magical man, Santa Magical Randall, Santa Checker Lee. Boy, I messed that up again,
Don't
didn't I?
even worry about it. Hey, Bob, like I said, man, I'm gonna have to send you. I'm gonna send you money for all these intros, man. I'm gonna have to send them. Good afternoon, everybody. Great to see everyone. Welcome to another Monday. Can you believe it's Monday already? Monday, May 8th. Wow. I mean, come on.
Days just keep flying by.
Almost half over. Wow.
I don't know, man. If we just don't look out, it'll, it's going to all start running. Hey, it already all starts to run together. So what am I saying?
Blink and it's gone,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the weather, we always like to start the show off with a little bit of weather. How's the weather up in the blusteries north?
That's why I got my summer shirt on, because it's been beautiful the last 2 days. It's been sunny and blue skies, and was 70-some degrees yesterday. I was out in the yard I got my youngest grandson spending a couple weeks with me, so because of a family medical emergency. So it's been outside working, and man, I love it better like that than that snow. I know if Kimmy's on, she's not going to like that, but she loves shoveling snow. But I'm glad that's over for the year.
Well, I love snow too, but I like to be able to come home where there's not any for my travels.
It's pretty to look at, isn't it? It's good. It's nice to look at in pictures.
Get up into the mountains. Get up in the mountains where the snow is. Absolutely gorgeous. But again, when enough is enough, it's time to go home. So, well, golly, man, this last week we had 2 days in the upper 90s. Heat index reached 103 one afternoon. We've had showers almost every day. Tremendous thunderstorms a couple of nights, not before last. Lightning show like you would not believe down here. Hail. Luckily, we've staved the hail here at our place. But it rained a little bit this morning. Got a chance for rain this afternoon. Got a chance for rain for the next 7 days. So I think we've kind of hit a different kind of pattern. And between the tree pollen, plant pollen that has, jumped out, everybody sniffling and sneezing and suffering. It's that time of year. Spring has arrived, I think.
Now, do you have a lot of humidity down there? Is it more like Arizona, low humidity?
We get 80, 90, 100% humidity throughout the year. Only time that we get relief is if that dry line ahead of frontal systems pushes past across the DFW area. Most times them turn right around and back up and go back. But just west of Fort Worth, you hit that dry, arid climate. And so everything 30, 40 miles the other side of Fort Worth is more like a high desert climate. And then here in East Texas, from the Metroplex eastward, lots of trees, lots of green, lots of humidity. We get the Gulf moisture that comes up out of the Gulf through the South Texas, Houston, up through Louisiana, that just inundates the South. And I tell you, at times when it's hot and humid, it's hard to breathe. You go outside and you really almost struggle for air at times on certain days, especially if the air quality is bad. So,
yeah, I didn't know where your kind of dividing line was.
Yeah,
as big as your state is, I'm sure it has to be a dividing line. Some closer West Coast like weather, and some to the East Coast type weather. So I didn't know.
It is. If you go just west of Fort Worth, the climate there all the way out through West Texas, El Paso, is more like New Mexico and southern Arizona. Not quite as hot at times, but yes, sometimes just as hot, just not as many consecutive days as you see in Tucson or Phoenix. But we got all that, and I try to stay in on those days. Don't go out much. All right, Randy, are you ready to let's check out that something burger for today? Hot topics?
Yeah. Bring it on.
All right, guys. Randy's got a fantastic question for y'all today. This is where we ask you guys to give us your thoughts, how you would deal with something, how you handle things, how you see things. This segment is all about you guys out there that are participating with us today. So, Randy, take it from there.
Yeah, again, I really appreciate all your guys' input. It's been everybody and ladies, of course, too. All your great input you always send us. Um, it just I do things differently. I do things both ways, but I'm asking everybody this question here. Do you rather have the children sit on your lap or stand for a photo? Would you rather have the children sit in your lap? Would you rather have them stand to take a photo? Then, if they sit on your lap, do you slide them off so you can turn them around to talk to them, or do you leave them on your lap to ask them the questions and chit chat and interact? So, do you always leave them on your lap? Do you stand for the picture, or a little bit of both? I actually do. I'll let you know. I do a little bit of both. Of course, I'm mostly laid like the children on your lap, but then I like to slide them down so I can get them to face me, or both my hands are free because you don't want to hold. Sometimes you have to steady the children. So, but yeah, what do you guys do? Do you have them sit on your lap all through the whole thing, stand, or a little bit of both? Just kind of curious. It's kind of a poll, but I'm kind of curious what. And a lot of Santas have different reasons for it, because a lot of them also I have them slide down. For my reasoning is because I can hear them better. Instead of they're sitting this way, they're talking outward, and they talk very softly. But if I can turn them and face me, I can sometimes read their lips to know what they're saying when they're closer. And also, we always have to know we have to have our jazz hands and all that. And sometimes when in our laps, we have to use our hands to keep them sturdy. And if they're standing, we're all safe when it comes to our stuff there. I do a little bit of both. So I'm kind of curious, Bob. How about you? What do you which way do you feel most comfortable, or a little bit of both?
I do a little bit of both. It depends on their age, how well they're sitting on my knee. Again, you see their lips moving, but you don't see nothing coming out of them a lot of times. So it is good to kind of turn them if they're, 4, 3, 4, 5 and older. Let them stand next to you, either that or again, ask them to, have a seat back next to you. But for me, I always try to tell the photographers going into the season that some of the uh, improv style shots that they may take are some of the better sellers that we have at the mall, because the stage shots are great. Look at the camera, smile. But, I always try to get the smaller children, toddlers, and babies to look up at me. That's that one on one, interaction, eye to eye. It makes a great shot. But some of the best shots come after the
Right.
post photos. So again, it depends. And I've had them stand up, turn their back to the camera, and I always try to reposition them so in case there's something there that the photographer can get while we're chatting, uh, makes for great, especially if they have a letter. That's when it really comes in handy.
Yeah.
You want them to have that letter showing, looking like they're reading it to you, makes for a great shot. So anyway, both ways, Randy, to answer to your
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. And also, I guess I forgot to say too, also, sometimes if the child is apprehensive, standing is sometimes much easier for them to get a smile and come close than sitting on your lap. The old stranger danger thing can come in effect. So standing, I also think is a great thing too, to get the apprehensive. Well, you can just stand here. You can just stand next to me, or of course, Mrs. Claus there. You really got a good asset. But let's see what some of the great answers we have here. We're going to scroll up here a little bit. I'll have to figure out what that Facebook user is, but one says, I prefer a bench in front. Definitely a great idea. A bench in front, especially for years of COVID. A bench worked great in front of me. A small stool for them to stand on. That's probably
That's Rex Ray that
okay.
says he prefers the bench in front.
Great to have a bench. And then
The one above
whichever
it.
the child wants to do. Again, same thing. It's another great answer. Whatever because some child, they just have to sit on Santa's knee, and that's fine. Of course, that's our, definitely we're going to do that with open arms, to have what the children wants.
Comment was from Charlie Johnson.
Hi, Charlie. Um, talk them down, and then, like Charlie says, slide them down and turn them around so you can talk to them. And that's what I sometimes use, because then you get those maybe intimate moments when you can kind of turn them around to talk.
If
And
you go back up to the top there, Ray Bradshaw says, sit next to me on a bench.
okay.
Then you have Santa Scott, Oklahoma City. I let them choose depending on age. Then you have Santa Kevin, either, and leave them at that. And then we're down to where you were at. Ted Flynn would be the next one.
Okay. There we go. I went scroll too far down. Scroll for up. I mean, Ted is. I asked a child what they prefer. Stand in front of me. That's fine, because some of the teenagers too. They're not gonna. They make a joke. Oh, sit on his lap. Sit on his lap. But they're. You can get a good teenage picture with teenagers or what everything. And like Scott Parker says, I always ask, how do they feel, and how they're most comfortable. And that is the bottom line, guys. That is probably one of the best ways of looking at it, what they feel most comfortable. So because we don't want to force either way. So that is a good one. Next Facebook user is after Scott there.
That's Scott Saraton again.
Scott
I speak to
Saraton.
them in front of me and then come have a seat on my knee for the photo.
And then Melissa Lynn says, I mix it up. I what's the best for the child? Okay. And that's exactly what it is. And because we want to get the best picture, and of course them the memorable moment to see us. So what's what they feel the most comfortable. Kimmy, I do both being Mrs. Claus, and that's what's great about having Mrs. Claus, because they can also warm up so much easier with that type of character. With that character as Mrs. Claus, it's a softer, easier one to sit on the lap, or especially babies. Both ways of them talking. Most get excited to come up and telling me what they want, and that is, I think, it's so cool when they just gotta tell you, they just get so excited. They can't wait. Exactly, Bob. All right, let's see, Charlie. Okay, got that. Where I'm time to talk. Okay, Ted says, fortunately, where I am, there is time to talk. Where I am, there's time to talk. Then do pictures of each child is different. So it is important to follow their lead. Yeah, because I mean, a child might be a little fidgety. You get that picture, but they want down, and then they'll talk. So again, it's always what everybody's said. The most comfortable, great things for that about what the child is most comfortable, and to get that best picture. So
you want to reread your question for Ben? Ben just joined us, and he's late. Sure. He's coming in on YouTube. Yeah. So reread it, and let's see what he has to say.
Do you rather have the children sit on your lap or stand when you interact to take a photo? And if you have them sit on your lap, do you then slide them down and have them stand next to you to talk? So do you try to suggest them standing next to you, or do you automatically put them on your lap, or do you do a little bit of both? So let's see what we've got here. We have another Facebook user, whatever.
That's Santa Kevin again.
Okay, Santa Kevin, whatever the child would like. That's exactly that is the bottom line, guys, and so many wonderful comments that way to say, and that is what we're there for, is to make them happy and to make them feel good and not uncomfortable. So that is sit on my lap is from
Adam.
Adam does. Oh, hey Adam, how you doing? Good. And then Ernie, love to get as many special, funny, traditional pictures. A couple of favorites: newborns, in back antique pickup truck. Oh yeah, sleeping with me. There was one that was the first photographer many years ago. She loved it like a baby, to put like the baby up this high, so you were like face to face with the baby. And I always thought that was a very cool, but you had to, pretty small, but they were under the baby, like really, it was a really cool picture. But yes, some parents were a little apprehensive of you holding their baby up this high and looking at it, but it did make a great picture. Of course, you didn't have to worry about setting down.
See, mom kind of leaning forward when you go to do that. And I do it also, Randy, but I take it to the next level. I take and hold that baby up over my shoulder
Oh,
with the baby facing the camera and Santa's back turned to the camera, so you see the back of Santa
Santa
with
and
the
the
baby
baby's
through,
face.
and it takes it even to that next
Yeah,
level. And
yeah.
again, yes, you can see mothers cringe when you do that
Some, like I said, there's mothers that will ask, do you know how to hold a baby? You know, um,
every day.
every day. Yeah. Oh well, that's okay. All righty, Ben. Here's Ben. Prefer them to sit on my knee. I often after we are just about done to stop them as they are leaving. When they turn, we have to face. Tell them to remember how much Santa loves them. Yeah. So Ben likes to keep the lap the whole time, and and I just do it because I don't know. Maybe I should get a hearing aid. Maybe that's part of my problem. Maybe I should get a hearing aid because I can't seem to always Bob saying the same thing because sometimes
I resemble that.
they talk a little too softly. So for me, or they want to look straight out because that's the way they're facing, and so all
and,
right,
and,
we
and
got
that poses another situation altogether. You know, after I ask once and then I have to ask a second time, sometimes if the parents are standing close enough, I'll look at the parent and say, "Can you tell me what he just said? He's really soft spoken, or
yeah.
she's really soft spoken." But if I don't, then I just play along and say, "Oh, you're going to really enjoy that gift this year."
Oh, that's gonna be
You know,
so
just
much fun. You're gonna have a great time. Yeah, you just play it. Oh, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to deliver. If I get a chance to deliver that to you. Yeah. Um, already. One Lion
Parker
King,
says.
those kids.
Parker says he Lion King's those kids. Oh goodness, Parker, you're a mess. Hey,
WWE.
I like Rudy. Did you
All
see where
righty.
Parker got him a new sleigh? It's a red HHR. He named it Rudy.
Rudy. Oh yeah, I did that. That looked great. That great looking vehicle. I wish kind of my truck would have been red now instead of the gray one I bought, but oh well. Ben says it makes it nice, intimate, not to have is not the right word, but it sure is what's the most special moment. You
Hmm.
got it. Me too. Ted, I have trouble getting the babies to answer my questions. Yeah, as long as they don't speak real loud. That's you don't want that loudness. That those kind of noises you don't want. But yeah, I think I think of course we all do it safely and we all do it in the spirit of Santa and for the best thing is for whatever the children wants, and that's what I has been a great thing to see, that it's all about the little ones, how they feel comfortable, and how they're going to enjoy the experience with us. So, man, thumbs up, you guys! You guys are dynamite.
It's a different experience if you're working with a photographer
Yeah,
because a lot of times a professional photographer wants to set those uh, settings up, set your poses up. Where if you're in a chair job, it's more left up to Santa how, or even the mom or dad, how they want to position the children. And so, it really varies. And that's kind of an open ended question that you gave, Randy, but it shows both perspectives.
yeah. I like the big families, and you come in, and you're like, okay, you go here, you go here, you go here, you go here. Get them
But
big families up there.
they take that one shot and then they want to play family roulette and move everybody around. And then again and again and again.
Oh, I'm not with him. He's with me. He's with her. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Can't wait for it to start. Can't
Uh,
wait.
Me neither. We all do it because we love it. Absolutely. Okay, so fantastic job,
Thank you,
guys,
guys.
on the answer of that one. Now let's go ahead and grab this question
Ah,
here. I'm going to throw this one at you. And it's kind of funny. I was telling Randy back in the green room that I had put this script together prior to seeing Gina's post about the Alaska, uh, 2 jobs in Alaska that she put up yesterday for those who may not have seen it or did. But here's my question: have you ever considered traveling overseas to portray Santa during the Christmas holiday season? If so, what would be your 2 dream locations, and what would be any concerns of traveling outside our borders? Now, for me, when I wrote that, I had in mind I was thinking about Japan, China, Dubai. But then for me, I answered that with the only 2 places that I would have a desire to go would be within the United States, but Hawaii or Alaska. And I saw that post from Gina. But as Randy pointed out to me, that's a long time to spend in December in Anchorage, Alaska in the winter.
There's not a
If
whole
you're
lot
from
of
the South,
daylight up there.
if you're from the South.
Yeah, especially if we're born in Texas. That's pretty cold and pretty dark all day long up there. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I definitely, like I said, I've thought about it. I've wanted to. I think that would be fun to put on a bucket list to say you were flown someplace and put up for someplace out of the country and I think it would be fun. I just reason why I haven't done it because then it would upset the regular clientele that you've done stuff for years, and you don't want to lose them. That's I guess that was the whole reason not doing it. So
Yep. All right. So Ben says, sign me up. My bags are
that's the
packed.
fact.
Charlie Johnson says, my main concern would be my lack of speaking other languages. I would go to Alaska or Hawaii as I have been stationed at both. And, again, a lot of those jobs like in Dubai or China, they have interpreter, full-time interpreter that's with you from the time you leave your hotel room until you get back to your hotel room, kind of an escort, and they interpret for you. So that kind of takes some of that concern away, but it would still be hard to try to work through an interpreter every time you spoke. You'd have to go through the interpreter, then back through the interpreter, and I can see where that could get frustrating. Parker says he's thinking Mesquite, Texas, or as far as Fort Worth. Hey, uh, what can I say? Parker worked at the Bass Pro in Grapevine for a number of years. That's the Fort Worth area over north of DFW Airport. And then we have the Bass Pro Mesquite. Hey, with uh, with Gordon Bailey passing, the number one chair at the Mesquite location is now open. So if you're interested in working in Mesquite, now's a good time. I say Mesquite's actually Garland, Texas, which is in the next suburb next to us. But that chair will be open this year with the passing of Gordon. Ernie says Lapland, Finland. That would be a great place to go. They used to have that live cam from the Christmas place there, and I've been over there, gosh, time and time and time again. And that live cam has been down for some time, but I always enjoyed watching the folks mingling in the courtyard and going inside the store there at Lapland. And I'm not sure who this is. Let me see here. Okay, this is Rex. Rex says, I talked with Tim Mack, who did it a couple of years ago. He had fun, but was bored most of his time off after he had seen the sights. That's true. And that was something I was going to add. The chair in Alaska that Gina has open is for two Santas, 240 hours each. So there would be downtime. And as my co-host here happened to mention, cold, dark, and in a strange place with time down, might be a lot of sitting in a hotel room.
Be a lot of hotel time up there. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
unless they have a nice pool or indoor pool. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of outdoor sports you're going to do, and I don't think most bodies. I don't know what temperature gets in Alaska in December, but it's got to be zero pretty much all day long and below. I would think.
I can't fathom. I know 0 to -40 would be my guess. There in Anchorage. Kevin, who is up in Midland, Michigan, one of the destinations for Santas. If you like to get back to the roots of being Santa with the Christmas stores and stuff. Not really interested unless Mrs. Claus could come. Very good. I would have to take mine with me too. You're talking about 7.5, 8 weeks. No way I would go without my Mrs.
I know a lot of them. Because I've talked to a few companies that have done. A lot of them will send you with somebody. Yeah, a lot of them will. Um, so you already have the hotel, so they're not adding any hotel bill. It's just basically your travel and everything else, so that they
Yeah.
would add. But yeah,
And Parker mentions in reference to Gordon Bailey passing, big boots to fill there, sir. I agree. Gordon was such an icon, such a larger than life figure. Uh, Rex says Tim Mack did Alaska. Ted Flynn says I got offered Tokyo once, but I was working full time as a teacher and couldn't do it. Now that I'm retired, I'm very comfortable where I am and wouldn't want to leave.
See?
But, and that's the thing for those of us who have been in one chair for some time, you do get really comfortable with that chair, that position, that mall, that wherever you're at, and it is hard to leave because you think about it. You think, well, I've been here, X amount of years, and this has been my home, and I've built up all this clientele. Gosh, it would be nice to travel, at Christmas time to do an outside job. But I think once you're established, that kind of leaves your thought process. You want to stay where you're at as long as you can. And, because again, it is comfortable. It is home. It is where
Yeah,
where you built up clientele.
and you don't want to, you would talk to your regular clientele saying, let's say you do home visits on a regular basis. You tell them, I'm sorry, I'm going to be in Dubai or Japan or Alaska or wherever. They would understand, but they would have to get somebody else for the year because they're not going to go a Christmas without Santa. So you don't want to lose some of their, or if you're doing a country club, if you're doing whatever, that's why I didn't do it again, like I said, because I didn't want to lose any of my regulars. You don't know, you don't guarantee.
Well,
So
that's the thing is it's the unknown that keeps you from moving on a lot of times because you know what you have in your present, position. Again, if you've been at a chair job as long as I have at my mall, I'll leave. There's probably no chance that I would ever be able to get that chair back once
yeah.
I've walked away. So that's always in the back of my mind when I, think, well, it'd be nice to move on and do something different. But again, it's home, it's comfy. Kimmy says, I have no desire to travel.
Wait a minute, you're
Yes, there
traveling to
are.
Michigan.
Let's see who says that. Yes, Charlie, there are openings in Alaska. Gina Bacon posted in all the major groups yesterday. 240 hours on the chart each for two Santas, and that's in Anchorage, Alaska. If you're interested in that job, go over to her board on Nationwide Santas and let her know that you are interested in filling that maybe. Charlie again says, same here. Ted, I have two great gigs. Ted said, I had to fly to Los Angeles the day after Christmas 2 years ago. Does that qualify as foreign country? I believe it does, Ted. In today's uh, California state of mind, it probably is almost like a foreign country. Everything that's going on out there in the West.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Fantastic.
true, Parker. Grass is always greener on the other side until you take a big bite out of it and then you realize it's sour. Kimmy says, yes, Randall, but not leaving my children at Christmas. That's true too. If you're used to having, and I think we're all traditionalists when it comes to family, Christmas is, and getting the family together for Christmas. And, it's just something that we do here in America. That would be tough. Of course, I do know some Santas that have traveled, and what they do is they just push Christmas back 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And at New Year's, instead of New Year's, you're doing Christmas and New Year's, which is kind of crazy to think about it, in itself. All right, Randy, what'd you think about that
Wow,
segment?
that's fantastic. Fantastic, guys. I mean, that's neat how many wouldn't do it. I think but that's why they get filled every year. And that's why and it's just, I mean, great answers why they wouldn't want to do it. And
Yeah, when that Dubai job hit a number of years back now, I don't remember 6, 7, 8 years ago when Dubai kind of became a thing. Ian Loxton over in Australia had went the first year there for Ferrari at that big hotel event they had. He really talked it up. He loved it. He wanted to go back. He had personal bodyguards. He had the penthouse. He had all his meals catered in, interpreters. And he really, really, really did like it. But the thing about it was those first couple of 3 years, it really paid well, and you had all those amenities. And as the job got established, they started cutting back and not offering as much, and the pay went down, and a lot of things changed. And I think that's why you don't hear so much about the Dubai job anymore, like we did there for a while. It was
yeah,
a hot topic at one time. Okay, guys, let's go
thank
ahead and move
you.
along. Fantastic job on everyone's part there. Love the interaction of that hot topic. That burger is enough to fill us all up, but those comments, takes it over the top for sure. All right, let's get into santascloset.org trivia.
Hey everyone, Elf Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live. The show about nothing. Bob, Randyl, and Company Live is brought to you by Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet has been delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since 2004. Santa's Closet's main goal is to provide both a superior customer experience with tremendous value for their customers. Santa's Closet brings more than 400 separate products to the Claus community at a reasonable price. Santa's Closet is under new ownership. Let's welcome Santa Wade and Scarlett Kaufman of Tennessee, whom will continue the tradition of bringing you products of unparalleled quality and design. Don't forget to visit their sites at santascloset.org and support their efforts of bringing quality products to the community. This is Angela Mack reminding you to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
All right, folks, we've been trying to make these trivia questions hard and harder at times. I don't know where this one's going to fall, but I thought this would be pretty cool as they all are. And over to Randy.
Yeah, I'm glad I wore my Hawaiian shirt because then Claire will talk about going to Hawaii and Alaska. So this is the question, everybody. Here you go. To Hawaiians, Santa Claus is called blank, and the reindeer are blank. Instead of arriving in the island in a sleigh or flown by reindeer, Santa arrives in a canoe, paddled by elves dressed in blank blank. So it basically is 4 words we need. What is Santa called in Hawaii? What are the reindeer called instead of reindeer? And what are the elves dressed in when they paddle the outrigger canoe? Very cool question. I'm glad I wore my Hawaiian shirt.
Well, and again, when I posed the something burger question, Alaska and Hawaii popped up in my mind. From week to week, I kind of struggle on what to do next for trivia. After a while, you kind of start, thinking, gosh, what haven't I done? What have I done? Where can I go? And so that's what triggered this particular question was I got on a Hawaiian kick and got thinking about the nice weather over at Christmas time, how nice that would be, opposed to Alaska. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, guys. That was a bad visual. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's why Randy makes the big bucks.
I won't say anything about me wearing a grass skirt. I won't go that far on the show. Oh, too late.
Watch out. I do have pictures of you. All right, guys, work on that. The question's been up. Everyone's had a chance to look at it and ponder over it. Get those questions, answers into that question. We're going to move right along here on the other side. All right, this is Elf and Chatterbox News, segment we do each week that kind of talks about upcoming events, different things that we need to talk about within the community. And Randy's covered these first two pretty extensively the last few weeks. But again, up until the event, we always like to keep mentioning of it. Never know when we have someone new watching on YouTube and or some new folks, joining us on Facebook. So, Randy, over to you.
Yep, coming up in less than a month, only about 3 weeks away, is Christmas Performers Workshop, June 1st and 2nd at Rothbury, Michigan. Brought to you by MAPS, Michigan Association of Professional Santa. That's Santa True does his Christmas Performers Workshop, more of a hands-on performer-based class instead of like a lot of the other schools are. That's the 1st and 2nd. Now, the same weekend, we have a complete weekend that MAPS puts together, the 3rd and the 4th of June, the same location at the Double J Day Ranch. We have the Jingle Joy Retreat, just getting away, fellowship, fun, and a little bit of learning. There's golf and everything, and there's indoor lazy river and great food. And the biggest thing is great fellowship. And that, like I always say, that favorite F word, which I scared the daylights out of Bob a year or so ago, and I said my favorite F word, but that favorite F word is free. But that weekend is free besides your hotel and food. But there's a great weekend plan for that. It's the 1st and 2nd for Christmas Performers Workshop, 3rd and 4th for the Jingle Joy Retreat brought to you by MAPS. Of course, then Christmas Performers Workshop does it again on the 10th and 12th in Cincinnati, Ohio. Same class by Santa True, same great interaction. That's June 1st, 10th and 12th in Cincinnati. Then he goes all the way out to California, La Habra. Hope I pronounced it right again, La Habra, in August, the 12th and the 13th of August. So a lot of great, if you can't get to the East Coast, you can go to the West Coast, and it's a great, great class. And then, of course, coming up real soon is School for Santa. Man, oh man, 2 weeks of that coming up. July 13th through the 16th. And then again, the 20th through the 23rd down in Branson, Missouri, brought to you by Spangle and everything. So much fantastic, such a fantastic school. And you got, it's like, it pays for it all. You pay for your hotel, you get the food, you get the shows, you get the learning, you get the fellowship, all in one package. And beautiful Branson. Besides, it's there's so much going on down there. It's kind of like the mini getaway entertainment center. It really is. But that's 2 weeks. Of course, Santa Ed Taylor's the guest speaker, which he doesn't get out very much. So, wow, 2 weeks. So the first week I hear is filled up, but put your name on the list if you're concerned. Maybe somebody will back out. Second week, we're up to about 75, 80 people. The second week filled up. Is that what I hear, Bob?
Yes, over 75. And the first one, again, I think had around 108 or so at last count. And so, again, he can take about 110 with seating that we have. So there still may be a seat or two open, and you can always get your name on the waiting list in case someone has to cancel or move from the first week to the second week for whatever reason. Things happen in life, so you never know. But anyway, just reach out to Tanya and let her know what your preference is. Speaking of Tanya, we're going to have her on the Tuesday Night Live show in an upcoming segment probably next week or week after, being on her schedule, just for a short period to kind of go through the process and let everyone kind of get to know Tanya just a little bit. So anyway, that's in the future.
And I think somebody special is going to be there. Maybe Elvis is going to show up out here. A little Elvis is going to be there too.
Yeah. And if you've gone to the School of Santa's the last few years, the Elvis impersonator that Spangle's kind of a father figure to, young man that has been doing it ever since he was like, I don't know, 10, has signed a nationwide big contract for an 8-month tour. So he's had to cancel, but Spangle has found someone else, Elvis impersonator, that's right up there with Radney. And so the show will go on. Scott Seriton is joining us today there out in the audience. He has put together he's our Tuesday Night Live production show specialist who does all of our special events and things. He has put together a fantastic, like a concert setting that we'll have for the show. So anyway, more on that in future days. We've got 2 months leading up to that. Real quick, Ben Bellhorn, congratulations, brother, on the Ohio Santas becoming an official IPRBS affiliated chapter. And Ben says, woot, woot. And I agree. That's a fantastic deal there. Great job, Ben, at what you've done with the Ohio Santas, how you built that. And again, I'm not sure, since I've been out of the organization as far as in the membership committee and that sort of thing. We had around 54 chapters at one time, so I'm not sure what number chapter yours is. If you know, throw it in the comments and we'll let everyone know on that. All right, moving along here. Randy had mentioned that True will have a workshop on June 10th, and this is a question that's come up over and over. Chrissy has fielded questions. I have, Scott Seraphton, Spangle, Angela. We've all been asked about Gordon Bailey's memorial service June 10th in Honey Grove, Texas. We finally have a church locked down. It's Church of Christ. That's at 403 West Main Street there in Honey Grove, Texas, 75446. Service time will be at 11 a.m. That's Central Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Central Time. That's kind of early. I know folks that will be traveling in, going to have to get up awful early if you're coming in to be in person. But because of True's workshop and because of other commitments that folks already have, we are going to, and I say we, Tuesday Night Live Productions is going to live stream Gordon Bailey's memorial service through our Facebook group and our YouTube channel. That way, for those who aren't able to travel and, or conflicting dates, we'll be able to either watch live or the good thing again is everything that we do is recorded and put on the channel, so you can always go back and watch the recording of it.
Fantastic.
Of course, once we leave the service at 403 West Main Street, right directly around the corner, we will be having the memorial barbecue. That service will start immediately after the service is over. Everyone will break, go around the corner to Chris and Scott Martin's house, and that's at 308 Market Street in West Honey Grove. Again, the church is directly behind their house almost. And be food. The only thing we ask that you bring a chair if you want to sit down because they're limited with their chairs. So bring your own chair, BYOC. At this point, we're still some $2,400 from meeting our campaign goal. And what we've got covers a big portion. What we've gotten so far in the campaign covers a big portion of all the immediate needs. Now we're looking at a few other things that we still don't have covered. So please consider helping, even if it's just a few dollars, because every penny counts when it comes to expenses. I want to thank all those who have given. There has been so many gracious folks out there that have given big. For those of you who watched the Tuesday Night Live show last week, I got to say a special heart thank you to Gina Bacon. Nationwide Santa's donated $1,000 towards Gordon's cause. Of course, everyone knows Gina and Gordon's history, 35 years, good friends, and we really appreciate Gina and everyone who has given. All right, Randy, you ready to move on? You got anything to add to that?
Yeah, just for the GoFundMe, even if it's like Bob said, just $10. Just do that. I mean, every little bit helps. It really is for a great cause. He's been in the business, and I know he's mentored a lot of people through the years, and I know pretty much everybody out there has read or been to his school or something like that. So to give 10, 15, 20, whatever you can, that's wonderful, incredible what Gina did. But you don't have to do that. Like Bob said, every little bit, just we put enough of those together, and it's going to take care of all the expenses, because it's not cheap. Well, nothing's cheap nowadays, but just to take care of what would happen at the end, what takes to happen at the end. So please, thank you.
We've been kind of set back at the cost of things. I mean, everything's gone up, across the board, from food to gas to even final expenses. I mean, it's insane where we're at as a country right now, and the cost of products and different services within not only the United States, but I guess it's a global thing. But it really hits home here. I do want to mention one other thing, and I've got to really, really say thank you to a very special person that is always there anytime you need them, and that is Santa Mel, Melissa Lynn. We reached out to her. The minister for the Church of Christ is not available for the service. We reached out to Melissa Lynn. Santa Mel will be officiating Gordon Bailey's memorial service, and she said that in my comments earlier with her on the phone this last week how honored she was to be able to do that. Okay, deep breath. I think we
Yep.
got through all that. I think
Yep.
we got through all that. So let's go ahead and move along to our upcoming guest. We've added a couple in the last couple of weeks and added another one this week. Got more I'm working on. Just for everyone, I have not talked to Bruce Kotovich. If you have and you know how he's doing, throw in the comments for us. I'm not sure if he's feeling better. I think that he is. I saw that he was back on Facebook one day this last week. I have not reached out to him, kind of giving him some space, let him, take care of himself. But we will have him on a future uh, show soon. I think we're filled up to the month of May, but I do believe the first week in June is still open. So that's what I'm going to reach out to him and see if he's available that first week in June. If so, we're going to pencil him in there. If not, we'll find a date for him. Randy,
Great. Tomorrow night, guys. It's going to be a very cool show because of what Bob's got on there. Rhonda and Michael Landon. There's actually related to a Santa, Rex Ray's family. They are Fancy Lee Creations. They do all custom work when it comes to hats, shirts, all that kind of stuff. So that's what Bob. There you go, Bob. In fact, I don't want to speak out of turn, but we're going to be putting some special things together to be able to have merchandise like that, hats and shirts from Tuesday Night Live. So they'll tell you all about that tomorrow night and show you some samples. But quality work. I mean, that what he's got on there, that's not even a patch. That is all stitched. Usually it would be an oval patch and just a letter stitched on the patch, and the patch then sewed onto the shirt. No, man, it's really unique. So tomorrow night is Rhonda and Michael Landon, Rex Ray's. Now, is it Rex Ray's daughter or son?
youngest daughter.
Youngest daughter. Okay, there you go. So definitely in the Santa community. We so don't miss tomorrow night. I think you guys will really enjoy what's going to be coming up. Then on the 16th again is David Sanders. I keep on saying it every time, but I mean, it's going to be full of, tissues about what he's going to talk about from 9/11 is what he's done. I mean, it's not going to be all about that. So don't, it's not going to be all about that, but it's going to be about him being an actor and the Santa and everything else. So don't miss that. That is actually May 16th. Again, before I go on, remember, this is all free. You guys just got to log on and boom, you can learn and laugh and connect. So that's, I want to do that before I move on. And then the May 23rd is Julia Cracky.
That's correct.
It's Thermapparel. Of course, that is the famous suit, the coats, the cold coats, the coats to cooling vests. Man, they're incredible. I mean, if you guys don't have one and work inside, you got to get one. She's got some great deals going on. I mean, there's been so many that'll be like, you've got this thing way up in your body, and it's you'll love it. I mean, she was at the Santa reunion, showed a bunch, and she'll be here on May 23rd to show them again in a special deal. You got to get one. I mean, you will just love them especially if you're wearing a Santa suit, a parade coat, everything. God, man, you'll be thankful every minute for taking the time on the 23rd to watch and to purchase one of those from Julia. Then on May 30th, that'll be the end of May already. Jackie Chamberlain, Simply Mrs. Claus, of course, Professional Mrs. C. Going to have some great information about, of course, for everybody, not just for Mrs. Claus's, but information for Santa too, and how she interacts, and so don't miss. She's been in just the entertainment business for years, so many great stories. Don't miss again. That's the 30th of May. 30th of May. Oh, that's right before. Is that right before, right after Labor Day week? That Memorial Weekend. That's the Tuesday after Memorial Weekend. Yeah, that's Tuesday after Memorial Weekend. Wow. And then we go to June. We got a few weeks in there, but Bob said he's going to fill in. Got plenty of guys. I should have 2 to send you yet, Bob. I got to IMU about 2 people I've been talking to also. June 20th is Carl White, one of our people we've been watching. Carl's been is Jolly Santa Blue Eyes. Jolly Santa Blue Eyes. Isn't that cool? I hope you can sing as good as Blue Eyes could. Can you, Carl? Now I gotta ask Carl. I don't know if Carl's on right now. I know he used to love the Beatles, so I don't know. He's got blue eyes about the Beatles, but that's okay. But Carl's gonna be on the June 30th. Right. Oh, I'm sorry, June 20th. June 20th. And you're gonna have some great stories. I mean, hasn't been doing it very long, but has done a lot in his years. So don't miss on the 20th of June. Then we go to August 13th. Of course, that's July 13th. Wow, I gotta wake up. It's been a long night. My grandson's been staying here, and you don't get much sleep when an 11-year-old is in the house. You don't get much sleep when you got an 11-year-old in the house. Is Branson, of course, for those 2 weeks. And of course, like we said, Tuesday Night Live is going to be there on Tuesday and Thursday doing live feeds right from Branson both weeks. So you never know when that mic's going to be right there ready for you. So and all the dealers and all the shows. So that's the 2 weeks there for the 13th and the 18th, and of course the other days. Then of course we go in August is our buddy Scott Parker that's been here since day one. Thank you, Scott. That's fantastic. Scott's got some great stories, and you don't want to miss. Oh, and again, don't have to miss it. You can watch it live, watch it on the big screen, watch it on YouTube, watch it replay on Facebook, so you don't have to miss it. But remember, do us a big favor: click the like when you go to YouTube and watch it for long enough, so at least we get the YouTube knows that it's. We want you to watch the whole thing, of course. But if you just click it and say I like it, it doesn't puts in the rotation for YouTube as a long enough click. So, but just watch it. It's free. Remember, it's free. Thank you, guys. Don't miss Tuesday Night Live. There's so much coming up and more to follow.
Okay, so following up, let's start with the last thing about clicking. Heck, click on it and go fix yourself a sandwich, walk around, go outside and do some gardening, come back in, and by the time it'll be off and it would have played all the way through. So even if you don't watch it, click on it and let it run. As far as the Branson shows go, many of you watched last year. It was chaotic. It was crazy. I hope many of you was able to catch the Gatlinburg coverage. Much better, much more organized, a lot better equipment. We're working even to make that better for Branson this year. Going back to Carl White, he's in Alpharetta, Georgia. That's a suburb of Atlanta. He's a 4-year professional Santa. We had quite the chat me and Scott did with him and Rex Ray and he has so many great things to talk about, so many great stories. His Mrs. Claus, I'm sure he'll have her on with him. What can you say about Jackie? Jackie's, gosh, I mean, there's so much to say about Jackie. The Julia Cracky, remember Therma Pearl, will be bringing a trivia question with her for that show on May 23rd, and we'll be giving away one of those cooling vests. Charlie Johnson mentioned in the comments earlier that he had bought one in Gatlinburg and loved it. They are so comfortable. Scott Serreton wore one both days that we were there. Scott had overheated and was feeling kind of bad. She said, "Here, put this on and wear it, model it for me, walk around, tell everyone where they can find it." And I mean, within 15 minutes, his core temperature had dropped and he was back to being himself. It was amazing how quick you can recover when you get that core temperature down. Dave Saunders, one of Spangle's best friends, longest and oldest best friends. We will talk some about 9/11 at the Pentagon. We have got a whole list of stuff that he has sent us to talk about, a lot about his acting career in the past, his upcoming acting career, him looking forward to finally retiring from the fire department so he can go full-time acting, and of course his professional Santa work that he does and everything that he has to give there. Again, Rhonda Ray and Michael Landon, Fancy Lee Creations. We've teamed up with them, and as Randy mentioned, tomorrow night we'll be debuting some new product. That doesn't mean that we're not going to do the Bob Randyl and Company Live swag. That's in the near future. We're trying to launch out the Tuesday Night Live stuff first, and then come behind it with some swag from today's show. Look forward to all that. Fantastic show tomorrow night. So do not forget to chime in if you can. Okay, Randy.
Wow.
Angela, did we ever get a winner?
Yes.
Okay, we got a winner. So let's go through these answers real quick. I'm not Polynesian. I'm going to do my best here with this. Let me go back up the page here and catch the question real quick one more time.
Santa
To
Claus.
Hawaiian, Santa Claus is called Kana Kaloka. Kana Loko. I know I was going to mess it up. Kana Kaloka. And that is Polynesian for Santa.
And the reindeer are.
And his reindeers are called Lei ni Kiha. Kia. Lei ni Kia. Now, I've got these broke down into syllables so it'd make it a little easier for me to pronounce them, and I still can't do it. Anyway, that was the second word we were looking for. The third word we were looking for was aloha shirts. Aloha shirts. Everybody knows how to say aloha. All right, and our winner?
Santa Kevin.
Santa Kevin up there in Midland, Michigan. Congratulations, Santa Kevin. I'll get this submitted over to Wade and Scarlett at santascloset.org because I believe we're out of keys that Spangle had, so we're going to start pushing this stuff back out through Wade and Scarlett. I think I have his address, don't I?
Well, you should.
I think I got your address, Kevin. If I don't, I'll reach out to you to get it just to make sure. All right. Golly, man, what a show. Hey, I love those magical moments. So let's do that. You ready?
Ready.
Those magical moments. Hey, I can't sing. Let's go. Randy, I'm
Yes,
laughing. I'm laughing at Charlie. He nailed me. He said it's hard to speak Hawaiian with a Texas drawl.
Ooh, ouch, Charlie, you got it right though, buddy. You got it.
All right, Randy, over to you, brother.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to the Magical Moments, guys. Thank you again so very much. And can you believe 230 days only to Christmas? Man, where is this year going by already? But I just want to kind of talk to you about, of course, I've been showing magic along, but we have to remember the core part of being Santa and just how magical he is. And the biggest thing we have, without buying a prop, without doing anything, is what is our most magical thing that the first they see besides our suit? It's our smile. So that's what we've got to make sure that we make the most magical smile we can when the children see us. We smile with our eyes. We smile with our big wig open. It's always an open mouth, but I that's just me because of my clown years. But that is something that is magical as can be, because when you smile, they smile, and that's what brings that beginning magic together, blending together. So we always want them to remember that. And of course, we as Santas always want to be remembered. Now, we always know that they'll remember Santa, but they want to remember you as Santa. That's why you, as the performer, as being Santa, have to be as magical look, smile, interactive as you can. Now, there are even some basic things to always remember. Now, this isn't my Santa one, but I do something like this even as Santa. I'll leave. I do use this as a magic live out. It's just a thing that I'll pass out to the families and children, an optical illusion thing, so they remember me, Randyl Lee, doing magic and having fun and making them laugh and everything else. But then there's something else for them. I leave with them when I go. Of course, balloons will pop and everything else, and pictures will always be there. But I leave something like this. And if there's something that you can make up that you can leave as Santa, that's one more thing to make them remember those magical moments with you as Santa, and not just Santa, because there's a lot of us Santas out there, but they want to remember you and always remember you. And this is something I've had people ask me about. It's a Santa North Pole map. Now, I don't know You're going to have to do some digging to try to find one. This was put out by Hallmark many, many years ago. But I've had children ask me about this year after year. And it gives a map. Whoop, it's upside down. Ouch. Of the North Pole. You can spend so much time with the children going over a map. I'm here somewhere. Of the North Pole. But was put out by Hallmark. And it's those little magical moments that makes you different. And like I've done home visits where they're going, can you bring the map because cousin so and so wasn't here and he's old enough to understand where the toy shop is and everything else. So but that's what made me stand out a little bit more as Santa, a little bit more, like I said, it's not even a prop, it's just the map. And when, like I said, it's kind of different. How many children even know what a map is anymore? I mean, a map is something unique. That's why I showed a couple weeks ago those grinding music boxes. Things are so different now for children. A map, wow, that's like really, really totally. That's got to be something just for Santa. But our age, we learned how to go everywhere with a map. We didn't have GPS or whatever. But the children nowadays, that'll make you stand out a little bit more because there's an app with pictures of them. And you don't have to do that. But there's so many different things that can make you as Santa stand out more and be so much more magical without doing the prop, without making something appear or disappear or whatever. Just think of how you can stand out more from all the other Santas. Because we all kind of start out kind of the same, at the same level. If it's, and I guess a friend of mine, performer, Kevin Lapine in Las Vegas, he's been there for 12 years at his own show. He teaches a class about entertainers. And we all start out, as he says, as D entertainers. We all start out there. Then we slowly graduate, and we can graduate to be a C entertainer, a B entertainer, very, very quick as Santa. But then we have to do those special things that take that B entertainer as Santa and make it an A, make it an A plus. And doing those things like that to make everybody remember you as Santa and Mrs. Claus. That's what gets you the rebookings, because like I said, they'll always remember Santa, but they want to remember you, how magical and how those memories will last forever and call you back and pay you more and everything else. So it's just those little things. It doesn't have to be something disappear and vanish. Or I'm going to show you next week a magic trick about good old Oreo cookies. So next week we're going to do a trick about Oreo cookies, something as basic as Oreo cookies. But it doesn't have to be a magic trick. Just something that's even a little different for the children to make them remember you. That is as magical. And of course, let's go back to the basics like I started with. That magical smile we all have. Thank you, guys. Always what a pleasure. I love doing it. You guys are wonderful. Thank you guys for joining us always on Mondays. I'm so blessed and honored to be here. Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
That, folks, is why we call him the Magic Man. I rest my case. Fantastic job, Randy, as always. All right. Gosh, man, there's not much more you can say about that. That was just to the point, direct, and fantastic. As always, you put together such a good presentation week in and week out. So let's go ahead and move along to Santa's flight checklist.
Good.
All right, Charlie, I promise I'll try to do better on this one. Doing your homework up front and making sure you are well prepared. Today's Santa flight checklist. Let's talk about our big flight night. Now, this is something that you could build into your backstory. You could take it and rework it, make it into part of the story that you tell when asked by children. I think we can all agree, though, if we strive to be more like pilots, we'll all be better Santas. To make Santa's flight planning and flight operations all the more impressive, consider all the factors we face each flight. As pilots, we review landing and takeoff distances, runway slopes, approach, types of weather, and more. But as Santas, we spent our Christmas Eve long flight making takeoff and landings from various and varieties of rooftops in all kinds of conditions, from the tropical rainforest to the swirling snow of the North and South Poles. As pilots, we know it is more ideal to land with a headwind on a flat runway, but with the crosswinds and a sloped runway really adds difficulty. And of course, those rooftop runways may have side-to-side slopes. So you add in the crosswinds with any side-to-side slope rooftop runways of the world, and it makes the fact that Santa has never been late all the more impressive. Now, this is not a piece that I wrote. This comes from reviewbeforeflight.com. And in the past, I've written all my own Santa flight checklist, but I ran across this and thought it was very interesting and informative. It takes being a pilot and a Santa and blending them together to see what kind of obstacles as a Santa traveling around the world in one night, the different weather factors from tropical rainforest all the way down to snowstorms at the North Pole, South Pole, anywhere else you may run into them, and kind of puts that in perspective to build a backstory off of. And I just thought that was a great point to be able to take bits and pieces of this, add into a backstory if the children ask you anything that's related to your flight as Santa. And that is today's Santa's flight checklist.
So true, so true. Very cool. So who I missed who wrote that?
It is reviewbeforeflight.com. It's a gentleman, it's a blog.
Sure.
And it's a gentleman that blogs, and he's blogged this same piece out. And there's a lot more to it. This was just one small paragraph, a couple paragraphs that I actually blended. This is not an exact content, but it's a big blog, and he changes it up from year to year. I think he started back in I want to say 2014 when he first published this in this blog. And anyway, I just happened to run across it doing some research, and it popped up, and I clicked on it and found it, very interesting and very to the point of what many of us may not have even thought about. I mean, as far as adding into your backstory, small details sometimes in your backstories really takes it to that next level, as Randy was saying a moment ago, and makes it even that much more believable.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's why I wonder where it came from, because that's pretty neat to read. That's really, really neat.
Yeah. Again, go over and check it out, reviewbeforeflight.com. All right, man. There was a couple of things in the comments that I wanted to catch up on over here. One of them was, see if I go back up here. Ben Bellhorn, when I asked him about the Ohio Santas, what number they were, he said, duh, we're number 1. And then he came back with, actually, I don't know, but it's somewhere in the 50s. I do know that, unless there's been some chapters that have left. And I only know of 1 or 2 chapters in the history of IBRBS that went from being a chapter back to being independent. So I'm not sure. But anyway, Kimmy Claus says, thanks to Tuesday Night Live for doing that. We're talking about covering Gordon's memorial service. As far as Bruce Guerin, JG Kotovich, AJ says that he was on Mel's meeting this last Thursday and he's doing a lot better. We said Charlie got a vest at the Santa Family Reunion where I talked about that. Ernie says, that's great. I love to listen and learn and share my experiences. This community rocks. I agree with you 100% on the community rocks there point.
Really do.
Ron McLam joined us a little late today, as he does sometimes, but he said howdy from New Mexico.
Been working a lot, Ron, the way it looks, man. Looking good.
Yeah, he's really been busy with the acting portion, doing
congratulations, Ron.
Doing all the different things he's doing. Yeah, he stays busy with that now. And Ernie says you can get a map from the Christmas Imaginarium in England. And my granddaughter's boyfriend says, hello, Papa. Hello, Jose. And Scott Parker wants to thank everyone that reached out to him about his dad starting hospice care, comfort care. If you haven't heard, Scott Parker's mom and him and family had to have his dad put into hospice comfort care. So keep him in your prayers, and the family in your prayers, Parker in your prayers. Uh, it's a tough time when you have to take that step and do that. Not sure. Okay, so Charlie Johnson says, here's another subway map of the North Pole and puts up a link to it. If you're interested, click on that link. All right,
It was
Randy.
it was just fun. I was we were getting someplace the other day, and my youngest daughter was with us, and she made some comment about GPS. She goes, "I can't do anything without GPS." I said, "How'd you guys do it?" I said, "We looked at maps. We learned how to, we learn the name of the street and would go A6 and we'd find the map. Okay, we'd find our way there from a map. Of course, that's such an oddity now for kids. It's something different. Like I showed you a couple weeks ago, a kaleidoscope or they don't. It's just so foreign. So it's kind of something unique we can do that's really from our childhood. So that's a cool one. I'll check that link that Charlie just put up there. So
Yeah, Atlas, you always had atlases with you everywhere you went. If you traveled, beyond your state or, on vacation or going somewhere for, a special event. I was just fixing to mention this. Parker just threw in there Mapsco, man. In my 20s and 30s, I drove all over North Texas, mainly in the DFW area, delivering for various different companies, truck driving, bobtail truck. And I couldn't live without Mapsco. I had to upgrade my Mapsco time and time again. And of course, when I was also driving a diesel tow truck, I had to have one. And then also the Atlas, because you never know where a truck's going to break down. Those folks who have GPS now that uses them, so much more convenient and easy. That is one, we talk about technology making our lives easier. I believe that is one plus on the plus side with GPS. But
yeah,
it can also be a curse. We left Branson a few years ago and was going to go over to Gatlinburg and spend a few days and head back home. And when we left Branson, we went south, ended up on a 2-lane road that our GPS kept taking us off of that 2-lane onto side roads, 3, 4, 5 miles, dumping us right back in. And
and
we did this
sometimes it goes
all
loops
day
and
long for hours. We zigzagged this road
yeah.
that we were on, not knowing that it was the road that we should have just stayed on. And we went across some crazy bridges, went through some cornfields and cotton fields like nothing out there but as far as you could see in them. Finally, about halfway through the day, I looked over at my granddaughter and my wife and I said, "You realize that's that road right there that we started out on and we've done crossed it 3 or 4 times? We should have just stayed on it." Sometimes they can trick you. They have taken me down dirt roads before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. An Indian path is what it's called. All right. Any questions left out there from anyone?
Ted says there is a map on eBay for $8. So eBay's always a good one. That's always my place to find it.
Yep, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's they're just fun to have.
All right, Randy. Fantastic show. Great job as always. I'm so lucky to have you here by my side on Mondays because I
Thank
tell
you
you
for
what, you really make the show and make it important, and you are the magic man.
you are just a great host, man, and a great person, and the whole
Well, thank
family
you.
is. I just have to ask one more thing, if you don't mind. I've just got the text from my daughter saying that my son-in-law will have open heart surgery Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. He had a mass heart attack the other day. That's why my grandson is staying with me because he has no, the dad's not home and he's in a hospital. So my daughter's been staying with him. So he's having open heart surgery on Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't mind giving a little uh, uh, extra prayer, I would really appreciate it. He's got his
Absolutely.
my oldest grandson's on the autism spectrum, and the youngest one is he's just a young one, so don't want to lose dad. Just lost grandma last week. Actually, great grandma a month ago, and of course they lost their grandma my wife last, so they don't want to lose dad too. So I'd really greatly appreciate a few prayers. Thank you.
Yes, please keep those in prayer. And there's so many folks that need prayer right now. Might mention real quick, we've had 3 mass shootings in Texas in the last 2 weeks. The one this weekend from one of our larger outdoor malls is was a Simon Simmons Mall, however you want to pronounce that, here in the Metroplex, had 120 plus stores outdoors. Just insanity. And there's so many folks that are hurting, so many folks who have lost loved ones, and then there's still, I think, like 8 in the hospital battling, uh, their injuries. So keep everyone in their prayers. Prayers are important. The Lord does listen, and we thank everyone for joining us today. Until next Monday, we hope that you have a fantastic week. Don't forget to watch us tomorrow night. We got a fantastic show for you. Again, Rhonda and Michael Landon, Fancy Lee Creations, Rex Ray's daughter, youngest daughter, and son-in-law. See you then. Randy, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe. Stay magical. And thank you, guys. You've been fantastic. Thank you, Bob. Bye, Angela.